Welcome to VTubing 103 Foundations of Stream Backgrounds. I'm Professor Lumio, and in this course, we're going to be going over your stream backgrounds, visual and audio. Stream backgrounds are where you really get to personalize your channel. These subtle elements you add will have a big impact on the overall energy of your streams. So let's dive in. Let's talk about visual backgrounds. These are the lowest layer on your scenes and literally set the stage for what you're going to be doing on stream. Now, in the VTubing 102 course about your model, I covered a few ways to find paid or commissioned models. Now, moving forward, I'm going to nearly exclusively focus on how you can build your channel for free. There are many free resources in all areas of building your channel, which isn't necessarily the case for your model itself, but just about everything else, there's a way to do it quite well at no cost. And I believe that's how I can add the most value in these tutorials. So where can you find backgrounds? I've put together a few sites here that I've personally searched and used to find free backgrounds that are allowed to be used for your streams. And I'll link these down below as well. Sites like AO Material, Okumono, Booth, and VTuber Nook all have really good options. On the AO Material website, look for Material in the menu and click Backgrounds. From here, you can see tons of options, many of which will have multiple types. So when you open them up, you have lots of color options to find the one that matches your brand's color scheme. On Okumono, go to Category, Material Format, and choose Background. I also like to pick the color that best matches my branding, so we'll say purple, and then click Refine Search. From here, look through the options provided. What I really like about this site is sometimes a design will have multiple layouts. On Booth, you can type Backgrounds in the search bar, go down to Price, and filter that to 0. I like to go to Keywords to exclude to filter out any irrelevant results. Because Booth is a Japanese website, you may find that some of the descriptions do not auto-translate, but on Google Chrome, if you click these 3 dots and click Translate, select English, and it will translate it for you. By doing so, I can see that this was generated by AI, which there are quite a few of on Booth, but they do typically label them appropriately, unlike sites like Etsy. Sometimes the main search results aren't the best, so find a background that you think is kind of good, scroll all the way to the bottom, look for related items, and these will often be a lot better. VTuber Nook has tons of really great VTuber resources. If we search backgrounds, we'll find a handful in here as well. But save this site for overlays, emotes and badges, and also background music. And I've also found some really impressive giveaways on both Twitter and Ko-Fi. In many cases, these are limited time giveaways, so check in on Twitter every so often and train your algorithm to give you free giveaway posts at the top of your feed every time. Just doing a Google search for free VTuber backgrounds also is a way to find Ko-Fi links, because there isn't a way to search on Ko-Fi's homepage, so you kind of need to find those through the artist directly. And remember, in just about every case of using a free Twitter or Ko-Fi giveaway background, you're going to need to credit the artist in your panels. Finding backgrounds that fit your channel is more than just for your stream. You can also use them for channel art, like creating a schedule or your about panels. They're also great for announcements or other social posts, as well as video thumbnails. In many cases, you can take a single background image and create variations using free editing software. The two I use the most are Canva and Affinity. Canva is a very user-friendly tool that's really good for simple edits and even videos. Affinity is a bit more robust Photoshop replacement that allows you to work with transparent images, which Canva would require the paid version for. I've used nothing but these two programs to set up my entire channel. Let's grab a background and do some basic edits for our assistant instructor, Lancelot. I found this background that I felt would be perfect for Lancelot from the creator Freya Amari on both Ko-Fi and Twitter. Give them a follow. So let's get this downloaded and add it to Canva. Once in Canva, open Create a Design, type in Video, and we'll open up Video Landscape. Let's drop the file into our design. Now what we're going to do is create a starting soon, a BRB, and a stream ending screen. Let's add some text and add our starting soon message. For Lancelot, let's do hopping on soon. I'm going to change the color to white and find a font that fits. Apparently there's a font called Lancelot, so I feel like I am legally obligated to use that one. When choosing a font, anything that has a crown next to it means it's a premium font and you would have to pay for Canva, but there's plenty that are free. I'm going to also add an effect to give it a very slight drop shadow. And lastly, let's add an animation. Let's make sure our text is centered. It doesn't have to be centered both horizontally and vertically. I think at least horizontally makes sense, but I'm going to lower it just a bit to fit around the other elements of the design. Once that's done, we can stretch this animation to the full length of the video, but then the animation will only happen once for the entire 40 seconds. So there's two things we can do. If we wanted to keep the perfect loop of the video, we could copy and paste this 3 or 4 times like this and place them side by side. Now, one thing to notice is sometimes the positioning will change when you copy and paste. So instead, what we can do just to keep the file smaller is actually trim this down to 10 seconds. In OBS, this will loop anyways, and since the only movement is these stars, it's going to be a very subtle difference. Let's give this a name, starting soon. Lancelot, click share, download, keep that as an MP4, and hit download. Next, we're going to hit file, make a copy. This will duplicate the design, and we can make a change. For our BRB screen, let's name this one Teacher's Lounge. Bruh. Let's rename that BRB, share, download, download. We're going to make a copy one more time. And this one we're going to do slightly different. For our stream ending screen, we'll give it a name. And then I'm going to click on the video, click transparency, and take this down about here. Then we're going to change the color to black. We could maybe do a dark purple, something like this. And that'll give it this effect of it being nighttime, time to say goodbye. With those videos saved, we'll go into our OBS folder and save them all here. Since this video came with an alternate version, I'm going to use that as my just chatting background. But if you only have one version, just use the original before we added text to it. If you want to keep your files super organized, you can add a numbering system such as starting soon being 1, just chatting being 2, BRB 3, and then stream ending 4, since these will be the order that you will most likely use them in. Now we can get into background music. This is good for starting and ending your stream for your BRB screen. It's also just great to have a background when you're just chatting. Now, what you really need to know about background music is copyright and DMCA. The reason this is important is because Twitch has a very strict 3 strikes and you're permanently banned when it comes to copyright. You've probably seen lots of streams play clearly copyright music, and that's because there's a few things you can do to avoid any issues 99% of the time. I would say most streamers just use YouTube or Spotify for their background music, and there's a trick in OBS that will separate the audio that is saved in your VOD, because that is where you're most likely to get a retroactive copyright strike. We'll cover the VOD track separation in the next course when we get into OBS. Now, the best thing you can do is just to play copyright safe music. You've probably heard of the very popular YouTube channel Lo-Fi Girl. I actually went onto their site and read through their terms of service. As far as I understand it, not a lawyer, if you're using it for background music, for your gaming, or just chatting, and include credits to them, they will never submit a copyright strike on your channel. Other resources are sites like Streambeats, and for individual songs, NCS has some pretty interesting ones. I was also surprised to see how many really good audio tracks for free or super affordable that there were on Booth. There's a whole category for it there, so it could be worth checking out. So here's your homework. Create or find your stream backgrounds. Also decide how you're going to play music on your stream, and make sure you keep everything organized from your stream background files to any individual songs you've downloaded saved in your stream file folder. As I've mentioned before, throughout this course, you can follow along yourself and stay organized using our stream setup checklist. This is free, and I'll link it below as well as on my Twitch panels.